Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez on every Sunday at noon here on YouTube, and then I post it over to Facebook. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy. Your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay, I want to get some announcements out of the way first before we dive into enmeshment. That's what we will be talking about. Good morning, everybody. Morning, afternoon. All right, so here is the rundown of the schedule for appearances on the 1st in Tacoma. So excited. Okay, 10 a.m. meet and greet at the Bread Peddler, which is 222 Capitol Way, North Olympia. So they will have that up on Eventbrite. So there's that. 1 p.m. It's been a change. So the time is now 1 p.m. for the personal appearance and book signing at Browser's Bookshop. And then 3:30 p.m. is going to be the lecture on manipulative relationships and how to recover from that. And I'm going to be taking a ton of questions because I like to do just a little bit of lecture. And then really it's like, what do you guys need to know? What do you guys need to know? What do you guys need to know? So there is that. Donna, Stacy, Gina, Ashley, I will see you at the meet and greet. We have room for up to 8 more people. That is awesome. Jennifer, Kelsey, Danielle, Yumi, and all you guys, I will see you at the lecture. Invite anybody you feel would benefit from this. So cool and groove-ola. So Mercury Eventbrite will have the updated schedule by the end of today, I'm assuming. I'm thinking, I'm hoping. So there it is. So I will be in Tacoma on December 1st, and it is supposed to be cold, not raining that day so far, but it's going to be cold. So there it is. I'm so not used to the cold. Like this week was the first really cold week that we've had in Arizona, and I'm freezing my ass off, which means it's 72. You know, it's the thing. All right, so other things, other announcements. If you are interested in these books, you are not going to be in Tacoma. These are available on Amazon. They are available on Audible. You can get them through there. That would be cool and groovy. They're available on Kindle. So there is that. And if for some reason you love to drink coffee in a 20-ounce mug, there you go. It's available on eBay. So there that is. Okay. So if you guys could hold your questions until I'm done with kind of the lecture part, because I want to get through some stuff first to discuss enmeshment, gaslighting, you know, that type of thing, manipulation, etc. So when you do ask questions, if you could pretty please, sweetheart darlings, loves of my life, put in big capital letters, question, and then ask your question. That'll help me determine if you guys are just talking back and forth or if this is something I really need to answer. So there it is. Okay, let's talk about enmeshment. Now, this is kind of a continuation of what we were talking about last week. So last week, we were talking about boundaries and how boundaries are super, super. Oh, by the way, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, or at least a sane Thanksgiving. So, but as we are coming into the holiday season, all of these issues are going to be coming up because dysfunctional families tend not to respect boundaries. And there does tend to be a lot of enmeshment. So what do I mean by that? Enmeshment means in a healthy, normal person, okay, here's the boundary, right? This is where I begin and end. This is where the other person begins and ends. There's a distinction. It's like, this is me, that is you, and there's no confusion. In enmeshment, it's just exactly how it sounds, like a mesh net, right? So it's interlocked. There is no me and you. There is the royal we. So when you are dealing with an abuser, they very oftentimes speak with the royal we. What do I mean by that? We feel this way. We feel that way. They speak for other people. We feel this. We feel that. We, or I, and therefore you should too. So that's enmeshment. That's not allowing somebody to have their own opinion. And I wanted to read a couple of articles that I posted because this is how enmeshment happens. Let's talk about gaslighting. Hold on. So what the abuser does is they gaslight. They lie. They lie, they lie, they lie, and they push their agenda, push their agenda, push their agenda, push their agenda. Abusers cannot stand. And I'm talking narcissistic personality disorder, and I'm talking malignant borderline, okay? So these two at the end of the spectrum cannot stand it when somebody has their own opinion. So let me just read you this it's a really good article. It's called 11 Signs of Gaslighting You Should Know. So, or in your, if you're, how to know if you're the victim of gaslighting. So that, I believe, is the title of it. Okay, so number one, they have lies of all shapes and colors. For most people, little white lies are an everyday occurrence. Your partner asks if their makeup or tie looks good, and you nod your head despite thinking it's not so attractive. You do this to spare the person's feelings and not harm them. However, in gaslighting, these small lies are malicious in intent and done to make the perpetrator, not others, feel better. Gaslighters intentionally lie, and they do so boldly and brashly. They can lie with a straight face. They can look you right in the eye and say something lying, as they tell you something that they know good and well you don't believe. These lies are designed to set a precedent. Once they have told you the lies, they know now you've got cognitive dissonance. You're not sure if anything they say is true. This is designed to throw you off kilter and make you wonder why, and slowly chip away at your guard, your judgment, and I'm throwing this in, your moral compass. So there's that. 2, everyone else is a liar. You show me an abuser and I will show you somebody that says, well, everybody lies, everybody lies, everybody lies. Okay, there is the white lie of, yeah, those jeans are looking good on you because you don't want to hurt them. And then there is the smearing somebody and making stuff up that's not even real. And we're going to get to that. Everyone else is a liar. Anyone that disagrees with the gaslighter's philosophy is automatically a liar and therefore dangerous because they see the abuser for what they are. From that point on, these people's thoughts have no validity or truth. What cannot be rationalized is explained away by the people simply being jealous of the abuser or wanting to tear the two of you apart, as opposed to, hey, we recognize that this person is an abusive piece of shit and maybe you need to take a look at this. This is to isolate you from the competing ideas of others and those in a position to help you. When you've abandoned competing relationships, you've pushed all your family, all your friends, you've devalued them, you've said that they're crazy or that they're incompetent or that they're this or that they're that. The gaslighter is now free to disrespect you and abuse you uninterrupted. Number 3, they deny. You'll find that gaslighters are equally audacious in their denials as they are in their lies. They'll say or do something and then turn around and flat out deny that it ever occurred. I never said that. That never happened. You're crazy. That, da-da-da-da-da-da. They'll make promises and then vehemently deny they ever even had the discussion with you. In the presence of proof, they will find a fallacy to fall back on and discredit the evidence. So cray. Victims will find this irritating and frustrating at first, but as it continues, though, victims will naturally begin to question their own perspective, judgment, moral compass, I'm adding that one in, and reality. Human nature is to recognize anything that becomes a pattern. And as the lies and denials continue, you'll start to wonder if it's you that's wrong or misheard, or you're losing your mind. Ironically, the person's word you once knew was so wrong becomes a replacement for your own reality. So in other words, this person is saying horrible lies about the family and the friends, and suddenly, and you're like, no, that's not true, but suddenly you're believing it. You begin to believe what they say as the truth. Number 4, their actions and words are incongruent. When your partner is a gaslighter, their words and actions will never be congruent. This is why I'm saying actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. This leaves you to constantly question their behaviors and motives. It's a maze that you'll never reach the end of, however. The more you try, the deeper you're pulled in and the more lost you'll get. And they try to keep you trying with professions of love that are absolutely perplexing considering the actions they take that hurt you so much more. For example, they've gotten rid of your family and friends. They've lied to you. They've told you that they're horrible, awful, terrible people. They have an agenda. They want to break the two of us up. They want you sexually. You're having incest with that person. We're going to talk about that one. And so you've pushed away all of these people, and that's hurtful and harmful because a normal person doesn't do that. But they're sitting there going, but I love you. But I did it because I love you. You don't understand. I did what I had to do because I love you. Bullshit. If it hurts, it ain't love. If they're pushing family and friends away who are truly good for them, that's not love. Passive aggressive behavior is also common. It's the beautiful apple filled with poison. So they're very snarky. They're very, when somebody is snarky, somebody is passive aggressive, somebody is disrespectful, somebody is cruel or, meh. Everybody has days where they're in a bad mood. I dig it. But this is a consistent behavior with them. They're constantly passive aggressive. Okay. Number 5, they orchestrate attacks on what defines you as you. Gaslighters will attack your family, your parenting roles, your talents, your goals, your personality, and any of the other core elements that give your existence meaning and purpose. So if you were a very moral, very good person coming into the relationship, they will do the whole everybody lies, everybody lies, everybody lies, act just like me, act just like me, act just like me. And they will demand, this is where we're coming into enmeshment, that you begin to act like them. If you're going to show loyalty, you have to act just like them. So you start giving up your moral compass. You give up your family. You give up your friends. You throw your kids under the bus. For the abuser. Okay. Piece by piece, they'll break you down by discounting anything that gives credit to your worth. So what they do is they jack up the ego. Big difference between ego and self-esteem. And I want to make this exceedingly clear. Self-esteem is just the little tiny voice inside saying, good job. Keep going. I love you. Oops, you fucked up. Okay, make amends. Good, you did. Okay, great. Forgive yourself, move on. That's self-esteem. It's like, hey, you're basically a good person. What ego does is they go, oh, well, I'm the greatest thing ever, and I'm this and I'm that. But inside, that internal voice is going, no, you're not. You're fucked up. Oh my God, you're terrible. Oh my God, why did you do that to your children? Oh my God, why did you do that to your family? Oh my God, why did you do that to your friends? You're an awful person, blah, 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 blah. So it's not self-esteem that's going on. It's this perpetuation of the negative stuff. And that's exactly what narcissists want. So they jack up the ego. Oh, you're the greatest thing ever. You're this, you're that. But their actions don't match. They force you to give up your family and your friends. And then your little Jiminy Cricket starts going, the fuck, dude. The fuck, dudette? What are you doing? Why are you abandoning these people? What are you doing? You're not a good person if you're doing that. So that starts tearing down self-esteem, and that's what they want. So if somebody's got a huge ego, they've got very, very little self-esteem. Two entirely different things. Okay. This can be done by devaluing your core, such as conning you into feelings that you are worthless when it comes to the lives of your children or your family, or your friends, or your work. It can also be devaluing how you view your core, such as that you're overly obsessed, selfish, or negligent because you want to tell the truth. Oh, well, that's stupid. You're being ridiculous. You don't have to tell the truth all the time. That's what they do. This cold and calculated method of breaking apart who you are as a person eventually creates a you without any dignity, confidence, self-preservation, and moral compass. Slowly, you're becoming more and more unsure and unstable as a human being. 6, they are energy leeches. Through potent, subtle, and routine application, gaslighting sucks all of your energy away. It's the lie here. They degrade remarks there. They chip your confidence today and crack your perception tomorrow, that all add up to you becoming too tired to keep fighting the leech, literally sucking the life out of you. You're exhausted around them. You're constantly exhausted around them. You cannot contact family or friends around them because they're constantly over your shoulder. They're reading your Facebook. They're reading your emails. They've got all of your passwords. They want to know exactly what you've said about them to anybody. They don't allow conversations with people that can help you the most. 7, they are the anti-villain. Gaslighters aren't going to be the villain 24/7. Part of the plan to keep you second-guessing everything is to throw you a bone of kindness every so often. Intermittent positive rewards, just like a dog. So they'll sprinkle random acts of love, kindness, and devotion so that partners lose their balance from the times of meanness, humiliation, and cruelty. You may get praise for a wonderful meal only to minutes later be degraded because the laundry wasn't folded to precise specification. or you had contact with a family member or a friend. Humans have a natural craving for stability. The end game is for their unpredictability to cause you to begin to question your ability to ever be right. But they'll tell you all the time, no, you're right. You're right. You're a good person. You're great. You're the greatest thing ever. But the subtext is you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You doubt your abilities and judgment, and then slowly you lose all faith in yourself. The gaslighter is then free to step in as the ultimate and final word of truth in your life. They thrive in your confusion. Number 8. For a gaslighter, confusion is a shotgun bullet. They'll shoot at you to leave your sense of placement and purpose riddled with holes. You're vulnerable, weak, exposed, and emotionally bleeding. Then the very person that shot you is the only one there to plug your holes. Bam! Trauma bonding. Then you're shot again, and again, he is there for you. It is he or she is there for you. It is an endless cycle. So it's trauma bonding. So they'll scream at you, rage at you. Ah! Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Don't you dare sleep on me. Don't you dare turn out of this room. Blah, 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 blah. They keep you up at night, right? And they're constantly putting you down, constantly screaming at you, raging. It's never good enough, never good enough, never good enough. And then what they do is, oh, baby, it's okay. Oh, let me comfort you. Trauma bonding. So they're trauma bonding. They've attacked your worth and your value. They cause mass confusion to your mental and physical placement. Now you turn to bonding to mend your broken and overcompensating pieces. It's the ideal time for the abusive partner to sweep in and turn their reality into yours. It ensures that they are the ones you continually turn to for comfort and guidance so that the manipulation can continue onward in its cycle. And I want to talk about that in the next little thing that I'm going to mention, because this is important. So remember that. They walk in and they decide your reality. They are experts at projection. It's your fault, not theirs. You're the one who did the evil deeds, not them. When your anger, discontent, or questions arise, they always have some outlandish excuse, like you're the one cheating. You're the one doing drugs. You're the one that's being crazy. You're so busy defending yourself that you don't have the time or the energy to investigate what they are doing. This not only gives them a projection for their own misdeeds, it's also setting you up to be disbelieved by outsiders and hesitant to involve others. Plus, when something like you're crazy, even with the reference of an outlandish accusation like drug use, is stated on repeat, it leaves you to question if indeed you really are acting insane. That's their whole goal, is to cause cognitive dissonance. So that when family and friends go, you're not a drug addict, what the fuck? You're not a cheater, what the fuck? Then your brain goes, but they're telling me I'm this, so he or she must be right, because they can't be wrong, because I need them for comfort, and da-da-da. And that's exactly what's going on. Number 10, you keep quiet and think it's your own idea. Just as the gaslighter has painted himself or herself as the anti-villain, he or she is working to paint you as the true villain. It's all about illusions and misdirection. They surround themselves with mock juries of friends, accepting of what they do and use those opinions to prop up their own stories, condemn you as the bad guy, and cement your deteriorating sense of self. Gaslighters are pros at using such social connections as tools to shame and to quiet you. They may threaten to tell someone about your craziness and all the embarrassing accusations they've made on why it's happening. The end goal here is isolation. You're too anxious and fearful about the disgracing accusations to want help. You're too confused as to how the entire situation came about, you being crazy versus the crazy things they're doing to you, to even know you need help. The only source of comfort you're left with is the very abuser causing the discomfort in the first place. Trauma bonding, trauma bonding, trauma bonding. Number 11, they destroy your public character. Actually, before I hit number 11, they will deny you friendship. They do not want anybody that sees them for the piece of shit abuser that they are to have any influence on you whatsoever. And they will push their agenda, push their agenda, push their agenda. They will accuse of incest. They will accuse of sexual inappropriateness. They will do all sorts of things, even though you guys have known each other for a decade or more, and they'll sit there and go, oh, well, that person wants you. Oh, well, that person is doing this, that, or the other thing, and that person, da-da-da-da. They lie. They lie in order to plant that seed of doubt, in order to get them to push everybody away, because the shame inside of the abused person is so great that they distance themselves from what the abusers target the other one, the friend or the family, so that they don't feel discomfort, because they know that the friend or the family, that's not what they're about. But the abuser is going, yes, they are, yes, they are, yes, they are, yes, they are. And it becomes very uncomfortable. And so in order to save themselves, they push the family or the friends away, thereby giving in to the abuser and allowing the abuser to completely and totally isolate. All right, and we're going to talk more about that. 11, they publicly destroy your character. As you're keeping quiet in your confusion and turmoil, your gaslighter is working to destroy your credibility publicly. Your image will be tarnished. You'll be presented as someone incapable of making sound decisions. So what I have seen female abusers do is they will go, oh, he's such a child. She's such a child. And guy abusers do this too. It's like, well, you don't know. I'll have to think for the two of us. Yeah, fuck you, asshole. So, so that's what they do. Your image will be tarnished. You'll be presented as someone incapable of making sound decisions. Your partner will come out smelling as fresh as a daisy should you ever expose their gaslighting, except to the family and the friends that already see them for the piece of shit that they already are. No one will believe you, and you'll be faced yet again, only one source of comfort in your isolation, your gaslighter. Do you think you're in a relationship with a gaslighter? Things to think about. So now I want to talk about this meme that I posted, because this is really important. This is from Domestic Goddess, and it says, your significant other is allowed to have meaningful relationships with other people. Now, that is not talking polyamorism. That is not talking sexual. It is talking friendship. It's talking, for example, John is a mathematician. John loves computers. If he could, he would talk comic books and computers all day long. I only know about that much about computers, maybe that much, and that much about comic books. So, he needs to call his friends, Andy and Brad and Vernon and those guys to be able to talk about all this stuff, or friends that are computer programmers. For me, I love history. I love paranormal stuff. I love, words and things like that, writing. So for me, I have to have friends that I can go and talk to about that. So you're not going to get everything from one person, but the abuser demands that they are the one-stop shop. You cannot have a meaningful relationship with other people. And that's not talking sexual, that's talking friendships. Your significant other is allowed to get those things from other relationships they don't get from you. Demanding that you be the only source of pleasure and support in their life is toxic and possessive, which is totally true. Then we had a really interesting discussion. One of the most disgusting and painful things my sibling's abuser has said to me was that I had an incestuous feelings towards my sister. So gross, or my sister or my brother. And then I said, you know what? This is way more common an accusation than you would imagine from abusers, because what they're trying to do is create shock, disgust for the person that's the target of abuse, or, so that they will push away the family and the friends. And I want to read this because this was really good. When you react with disgust and anger at such a vile statement, the abuser uses the response to say that it's proof that they are right. So they're gaslighting and they're projecting, because oftentimes these abusers, they don't come up with this shit in a vacuum. So if they're accusing somebody else of incest, I give you 3 guesses what probably happened in their life. So why do they do this? The sexual accusations were so gross looking back, I realized it filled me with shame and disgust, and I would shut down and immediately never interact with the person they accused me of being involved with. This goes for family members. This goes for friends. The accusations also escalated to physical violence toward my little friends. Innocent schoolgirls were beaten up more than once. So gross. So there you go. Yeah, it's crazy. They do this. It scared you. Okay, so the answer is it scared you off from loving the abuser's victim. It took away a source of emotional support for the victim. It caused the victim to doubt their judgment. I loved and trusted a person who my abuser says is a sick pervert. Maybe every person I like is actually a bad person except for my abuser. And look, the proof of what they said is in my old friends and family turning away when they were called perverted. One more. When the abuser finally goes to discard the victim, the fact that everyone they used to love is a sick pervert is proof that the victim is also a sick pervert in the abuser's world. In this case, my sibling's abuser, I also think the abuser had some sexual sickness of their own. Obviously, they're projecting, always saying weird stuff and telling old stories about the sex stuff they did in high school and college, often in front of kids and older people who really don't need to hear stuff like that. The abuser thinks stories like this are cute and funny and paint them in a positive manner. So weird. And I said, exactly, bingo. So this is how enmeshment occurs with an abused victim, a target of abuse, because what they have done is they have literally gone into your brain and used it for a playground. Up is down, left is right, green is yellow, right is wrong, moral is immoral. And they convince you that you need to be little mini them. You have to agree with their worldview. You have to say, they're right, they're right, they're right, they're right, you know, even though they're wrong. And their end game is to get you to be disgusted and disgusted with yourself because you're questioning, oh my God, did I do that? Is that true? Did this person have sexual feelings for me? Oh my God, da, 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 da. Well, I need to push them out. That's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. They're made up, guys. They're made up. If you've known somebody for a decade or more, I can guarantee you if there was going to be something sexual, it would have happened long before the abuser came on site. So yeah. So this is what they do. They lie. They lie, they lie, they lie. If the abuser's lips are moving, they're lying. And this is how they create enmeshment, because what they do through gaslighting is to create the cognitive dissonance, the fog, the fear, the obligation, I have to act just like them, and the guilt if you don't, because they will punish the living shit out of you if you don't agree with their worldview. And if you don't get rid of that family member, if you don't get rid of that friend, you better not go to counseling. All counselors are this, that, or the other thing. They prevent people from getting help. They don't want people, they don't want their target of abuse to figure it the fuck out. So enmeshment, let's talk about that. So in a healthy family, healthy family, it is a mom and dad, older brother, older sister, middle brother, younger sister, younger brother, or whatever. Okay. There's no roles. There's no little boxes that people get shoved into and demanded to act out that role. In a dysfunctional family, there is absentee mom or dad, abusive mom or dad, neglectful mom or dad, addict mom or dad. Then you have golden child, usually the firstborn, not always. Golden child, ignored middle child, and then you have the comedian, which is usually the baby. Not always, but usually. And they are expected to play those roles. This creates enmeshment because mom and dad are over here going, you better stay in that role. You better not be smart. You better not do this. You better not do that because I told you you were this. So you have to be the comedian. You have to be this person. And you're the ignored middle child. And oh, golden child can do no wrong. Okay. It's very dysfunctional and it's very black and white and it's very rigid. Now we're going to move into a slightly more dysfunctional family. So mom and dad, absentee, neglectful, abusive, alcoholic, drug addict, whatever's going on. Then the kids turn into second mom, second dad, meaning they're having to caretake the kids below them. Because mom and dad are non-compos mentis at this point, meaning lights are on, engines running, ain't nobody home. And so the little ones have no one to turn to. So the older children in the family become second mom, second dad, and start raising the little ones. Not their job. Seriously, it's... And I've seen families state this. They will say, well, we had children so that they could take, the older ones could take care of the little ones. Bullshit, motherfucker. It's not those kids' jobs. They had a job before they even popped out of your womb. And you're a selfish piece of shit for doing that to them. It's not their job. And that is an onus that no child should have to do. What if the child gets sick? What if the child gets hurt? What if the child has to make life, altering decisions because the child needs to go to the hospital because you're too busy fucking, drinking or drugging or hanging out with your boyfriends or your girlfriends or whatever the fuck you're doing. That's not okay. And this is what dysfunctional families do. Again, enmeshment. It's your job. It's your job to take care of the little ones. It's your job to make sure they're safe. I work, so you have to. Okay, last time I checked, the kid did not ask to be born. Well, I'll go, technically, if you're Buddhist, you do. But the point I'm trying to make is it's not their fucking job. Their job is to be a kid. Your job is to be a goddamn parent and a goddamn adult, you fucking pieces of shit. Don't get me started. Oh, that just pisses me off. All right, sorry. Soapbox, check. Okay, all right. Then you get to the really, really, truly fucked up enmeshed family. Mom and dad, drug addicts, alcoholics, neglectful, abusive, whatever is going on. One of those two or both will not want to have to deal with the partner. So they then force the next oldest child to become the second wife or the second husband. We are talking incest. We are talking either emotional incest, or we are talking physical incest, or we are talking bada bing, bada boom, both. So this is in the really, really fucked up families. This is where mom and dad abdicate and they don't want to deal with the other person. So they force the older children, or sometimes the younger children, to become the wife or the husband. Wow. Yeah. Some of the things I hear, and people wonder why I get massages 3 times a month. So, yeah, that's what they do. So that is enmeshment, because now that child grows up and goes, I'm responsible for them. I need to have food on the table, and I need to have this done, and I need to look at the kids, and I need to do this, and I need to take care of their sexual needs. I need to take care of their emotional needs. I need to do this. I need to do. See where I'm going with that? Enmeshment. There is no boundary. These people are cray-cray to the extreme that do this, okay? And they use the fear, the obligation, and the guilt to keep the kids in those fucked up roles. Now, how does that play out when the kids finally leave? Not good. Not good. When you've got a narcissistic parent or a borderline parent that is absolutely abusive, okay, and they have enmeshed, they have made sure that the kids feel responsible for their well-being, their happiness, okay, we're talking codependency here. So enmeshment is codependency to the nth degree. I mean, like the nth degree. So they feel responsible for this adult's well-being, sexual well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, financial well-being. You know, oftentimes abusive parents will kick the kids out as soon as they turn 18, whether they're able to handle life or not. And their excuse is, well, you're an adult. I don't need to take care of you anymore. Okay, how about fuck the fuck out of fucking fuck you, you son of a bitch, or you daughter of a bitch, whatever you are. You know, it's like 18-year-olds don't have always, I'm not going to say everybody, but don't always have the ability or the skill, especially when they come from a fucked up, dysfunctional, enmeshed family, to make it on their own. So when an abuser kicks somebody out and says, sink or swim, kid, no good parent does that. No good parent does that. I'm going to say it again. No good parent does that. Now, you do not enable them so that they're still living with you when they're like, 35, but you give them a safe landing place, and you nurture them, and you encourage them, and you get them to go out on their own, and you get them to trust themselves. But abusers never do. So when that girl or boy who's been caregiving, enmeshed, it's my responsibility. I've got to take care of mom. I got to take care of dad. I got to put food on the table. I got to take care of the younger siblings, blah, 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 blah. They finally leave. They go out into the world. They meet somebody nice, and they decide, oh, you know what? This is great. I'm going to get involved with this person. What ends up happening is the enmeshed parent will then try to manipulate and control. They will be, I kid you the fuck not. So in a normal, healthy marriage, there are boundaries. Boundaries. There is mom and dad on this side, mom and dad on that side, but here we are, a unit, and we are a new little family unit, and we get to come up with our own traditions and do our own thing, etc., etc., etc. Now, what enmeshed parents do is, in the marital bed, all of a sudden we've got the new little family, and now we've got mom and dad from the really fucked up dysfunctional family in there as well. So sometimes if they're both fucked up, you've got 6 people in the marriage bed, so to speak, and it's just a cluster fuck. And it's going to damage the relationship, because the abuser is going to demand loyalty. They are going to demand that you put all your time and attention into making them happy. They'll do moves like, well, you're married now, so I'm going to move in with you. What? No, with a side of no and an extra helping of no, and oh, fuck no, okay? They will do things like that. So what they do is, if they can't do that, let's say there's a little bit of boundaries going on. So the daughter or the son will go, no. That's not going to happen. Then what they will do is they will demand that they call them all the time. Now, with abusive parents, the telephone line apparently only runs one way, and that is from you to the abuser. They do not make phone calls usually. I will caveat that. If they are obsessive compulsive, yes, they will call 100,000 million times. Where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? Tell me everything, blah, 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 blah. There are those kinds of abusers. But there are also the abusers where if you don't call them on a weekly basis, okay, they do the whole, you never write, you never call, you obviously don't care about me. I'm such a horrible mother. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck that shit. Do you see where I'm going with that? They instill guilt. And then the child immediately goes, oh my God, I didn't take care of them. Oh my gosh, their happiness. I got to take care of them. I got to take care of them. And they will abandon their spouse in order to go caretake the abuser. So that's how that plays out in adults that have been enmeshed with a toxic family. Caveat, if they do not go get help and start working on their self-esteem and their trauma. This is trauma bonding. This is trauma bonding. They're basically telling the guy or the girl, you can't get your comfort from your spouse. You need to get it from me. Okay, that's a little sick. Thank you for playing. So, okay. So this is what happens with that. Okay, so with a romantic partner, it's like I was reading in the gaslighting thing. They will demand that you give up all your family, all your friends, that you only get your comfort from them. They will abuse the shit out of you, scream at you, keep you up at night, put you down, degrade you, then flip around and be the sweetest thing ever, and then go back to the degrading and this, that, and the other thing. It's not good enough, and you're not making enough money, and blah, 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 blah. And it's this intermittent positive rewards that keeps us stuck because it's just like heroin, people. It is. It's just like heroin. We are addicted to the intermittent positive rewards. So this is what they do. This is how they keep us in that enmeshed thing. Now, when the kids, the adult kids, finally start going, okay, yeah, I'm going to start prying my fingers off because this is not healthy. Let me go. Let me go. And they don't. They fight tooth and nail because the abuser needs to keep that control. And they will use any means necessary. They'll use the financial thing. Well, if you do that, I'm cutting you out of the will. Well, if you do that, I'll never speak to you again. Well, if you do that, blah, 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 blah. So going back to the phone. So the phones are only one way. So they expect you to call them all the time. All the time. They never call. They expect you to call them, in case I didn't make that clear. So they will threaten to abandon you, basically, emotionally, physically, fiscally, or otherwise. And that's how they try to maintain control, which is why it is so vitally important to get with a good goddamn trauma therapist and start working on the trauma and the enmeshment so that when they do their little crazy fog dance, fear, obligation, and guilt, you go, oh, I recognize that shit. Thanks for playing. I'm busy. Bye-bye. And you walk away. You owe them nothing. Goose egg. Okay. And they do. They try to make you feel indebted to them. Well, I carried you for 9 months. Or the father will say something like, well, I paid for all your school clothes and I paid for all this and you owe me. Well, that's not the reason you have kids. That's not the reason you have kids. You have kids because you like kids and you want to help the next generation. That's why you have kids. Any other reason is bullshit and it's narcissistic. So don't get me started. So, okay. All right. Deep breath. So when you are detaching from them, you have to be prepared to deal with the cognitive dissonance. Incoming information from your therapist, from your spouse, from the books you're reading are going to directly conflict with what your abuser is telling you. So here's a clue. If you're reading a book by, for example, Pete Walker, who's amazing, by the way, or Harriet Breaker, also amazing, by the way, or me, I'm not going to get egotistical. I'm not amazing. I'm just good. So, if you're reading one of these books and everyone is saying the exact same fucking thing, but the abuser is saying something else, let me clue you into something. They're the ones that are lying. It's not everybody else. But the abuser will sit there and go, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Even though they have no degree in psychology, have never worked in the field, have never had experience doing this, and have not written a few books. See where I'm going with that? So this is why it is so vitally important that you get with a goddamn good therapist. Goddamn good therapist. Make sure they understand narcissistic abuse. Make sure they understand enmeshment, okay? Because you're going to need it. Because as soon as you start pulling away and they're clawing to keep you there, and you're like, get off of me, right? And they're like, no, 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 no. Well, I'm going to abandon you, and I'm going to this, and I'm going to that, and da 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 da. Fine, go no contact. Y'all don't need that. Life is too short. You owe them goose egg, jack, diddly, and squat. You owe them nothing. If you were not related to these people, would you have anything to do with them? If the answer is no, act accordingly. So as far as emotional romantic partners, I'll kind of mix that in with all of this. They will do the same thing. When you start developing your own opinions, when you start going, no, you're wrong. My family is not this way. No, I don't have incestuous thoughts about my brother or my sister. No, my friend is not trying to get into my pants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then they're going to start going, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to start freaking out because now they know you're starting to pull away. And when you start to pull away, that's when they freak out because they're losing control. And remember, for an abuser, it is all about power and control. They don't care who they hurt in the process. They really don't. Even themselves, they really don't care. They just need to be right. That's their thing. Okay, I think I have pretty much covered everything I wanted to say about enmeshment. Remember, it starts with gaslighting. It starts with the insistence that you cannot get friendship from anybody else, that it has to be them and them alone, and that you have to discuss everything with them, and that they are the sole source of comfort. Like, again, I said, this is not talking about polyamorism. This is not talking about cheating. This is talking about having friends. This is talking about going and talking and shooting the shit with a friend. Okay, whether it's the opposite sex or the same sex, doesn't matter. They will have a fit. They will absolutely have a fit. So, okay, guys, I'm going to open it up to questions. So if you could pretty please put question and then write out your question, that would be great. That way I know what questions you need to have answered. That would be cool. All right. Thank you, Chris. He said I was amazing. Thank you. Oh. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood this. Ego and self-esteem are very different. Ego is a mask. Ego is covering up the frightened inner child that believes that they're bad and wrong. Okay. And abusers will play on that. Abusers will pump up the ego of the target, but then undermine them by taking away their family and friends. And the self-esteem issue is still there. They'll still say things like, oh, I'm so fucked up. I'm so fucked up. I'm so fucked up. I'm so fucked up. Well, if you're fucked up, dude or dudette, go to a fucking counselor. Do something about it. You're not a fucking tree. You're not rooted. But the reason they don't is because they're terrified of the abuser. Because the abuser has made it clear. You go against me, you say something or do something that I don't approve of, I'm going to punish you. All right. Okay. All right. Hang on just a second. Let me see if there were questions. Do you guys have questions on this? I know you do. Running through the list. Okay. Yeah, it's from a website. Oh crap, did I get rid of it already? Damn it. Well, it's on my, okay, if you want to see the article on the gaslighting, it's on my We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez on Facebook. And it was, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up. Hang on just half a tick while I see what the WTF I'm doing here. Back to the page. Hello, page. Oh my God. There we go. Hang on. All right. So there is that. And where is the other one? Hang on. There it is. So this is from apost.com. Have you ever heard of the 1938 stage play Gaslight? It says gaslighting, one of the scariest and most common forms of mental manipulation, by apost.com. So that's where you can find that one. Okay. Okay, hang on just a second. All right. Okay. Yeah, if they always want to know where you are, what you're up to, where you're going, what time you're going to be back. If you're an adult, you don't need to answer that. You just don't. You don't need to answer that. So what they're doing again is trying to manipulate. So if you say, "Hey, we're going to go out to a party over at, Franklin's house," and you don't email her that night, she's going to be like, "Well, how late were you there? Did you drink? Who did you talk to? What was going on? Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you let me know you got home okay?" Now, I understand that parents worry about their kids. That's only normal. But if you've raised them right, with a little bit of common sense, not so common, your kids will be fine. And you go, "Hey, have a great time. Call me tomorrow. Let me know how it was." If they so choose, you're not constantly on them. Okay. Question. How do you prevent this to happen to you before it even happens? You have to recognize the red flags. You have to recognize the gaslighting. If you do not recognize the gaslighting, you're sunk, because they will come in and literally use a turnip twaddler in your head. Fans of Bloom County will know what I'm talking about. So they will come in and they will and mess your mind up with the gaslighting. Up is down, green is yellow, left is right is wrong, moral is immoral, the whole thing. So basically, it's educating the living crap out of yourself as to the signs of what an abuser does. So with the gaslighting, that occurs while the romantic relationship is going on and the love bombing is going on. So if they're love bombing you and you're getting like little lies all the time, and they say things like, "Well, everybody lies." Hello, huge, ginormous red fucking flag. Listen to your gut. What ends up happening is because of conditioning, because of whatever dysfunctional family we had, we override our gut with our head and our heart. Now, our head and our heart will go, "Well, but there are a lot of stress, and maybe they didn't mean to lie, and this, that, and the other thing." Gut. Did they mean to lie? Yes or no? Yeah, they did. Whoa. Okay. Peace out. I'm gone. That's what you do. You got to start listening to your gut, not your heart, not your head. These two will mess you the fuck up. And that's what they're counting on. They want the emotions to be there. The gut is logic. The gut is a yes or no answer to a question.